Okay, this video ran long, so I'm going to make it into two pieces. And what you're looking here is the radial flow separator. It's going to be in the second part, and the piping is going to be in the first part. I'm going to try to stick this on the front of the video so that you know that this where the two things are. We'll see how that goes. A neat trick on this. I just put it in only one picture. That's the problem. And that's not the one either. There we go. I know it was somewhere. This, if you want to be seen, you have to get in front of the camera. This, these like wings looking thing, looks like a little airplane. That's a piano hinge. And this piano hinge is put on with copper brake lining rivets from the auto parts store, or from Aircraft Spruce, or bronze rivets from the boat supply place. But it's riveted on, and that lets this this blue ring, which is rolled to be round, but it's got an end on it here. The two ends of the thing come together. And if I'm putting this 15-inch ring through an 8-inch hole in an IBC, then I have to sort of roll it up on itself, and it can't be connected. So once it gets shoved down in the hole, it'll spring back out to near its full size, and at that point, you lace it together with a round rod here, and of course, it's all in one group. This is a 90-degree handle. So this is a handle, comes over, and that pin goes down into the piano hinge sides. Stainless piano hinge, 020 stainless for that. Regular metal flat bar for these tabs. PVC pipe. I could use ABS, but there's some reason you can't use it for potable water. And if you can't drink it, I don't want fish trying to live in it either. So we're going to go with UPVC, something or other PVC. It can stand sunlight, which is nice. Of course, this is in the water in a tank. We won't ever see sunlight. So, the rod here, it's got the end cut off at about a 20-degree angle, so it's really sharp, but it's cut only on one side. And that lets it, when you push it in, that lets it line up these rings on the piano hinge without it hitting the edges of all the rings as it goes down through. They're inch wide, 20 thousandths between them, one to the next. I think there's 19 of them, something like that, on each side. And you do that when you're building airplanes, you have to take off the top of your cow or something like that, but you want it to fit really flush on the outside. You can put a dimple dye the skin, or if it's fiberglass, you can counterbore it with a tool, or countersink. And anyway, the rivets are flush. The piano hinge, one on the bottom of the cowl, one on the top. And in the front, could be the back, but it's always the front. You can slide in this stainless rod that connects the piano hinge. And basically, you can pick the airplane up with that cowling and that piano hinge. The plane doesn't weigh but 2,500 pounds. A lot of them are light. Just mine's just heavy, but mine goes very fast. It's 500 plus on a rotary engine. Nice for canyon flying. Horsepower is king. You know, come to a canyon that ends a little sooner than you figured. You got to climb. Horsepower's worth whatever you have to pay for it. The general rule is when you're canyon flying, it's turn or die. Because you might be down there at what your lower speeds are, but it still comes up pretty quick. Oh, here's a point. These tabs, they come from two different heights. The purple ones are a couple inches longer because they have to go down to this 6-inch PVC pipe, and the outer ring has to be higher than the pipe so that the water doesn't go right across the top of it. Water goes in the green, out between the green and the 6, and down through this space, and then up through the area of the IBC. So all these things have to be drilled. I'm a little worried about the I could find out in just a few seconds with the analysis command, find out what this thing weighs. Just put it in as plastic, and this other stuff in as metal. And for densities, and I could figure out what it weighs. But I'm a little afraid, even with fender washers, having these tabs just into that plastic. It's not meant to be a mechanical thing. It's meant to hold liquids for bulk storage. So what I'm going to do is I'll take these things here and set them on a piece of plywood and trace the holes with the ring around it, and trace all those holes. Then that gives me the shape, the interface of where these holes are, and I lay that on top of the IBC and drill through all those things so that the bolts in the bottom come up through the holes. And then I can paint that piece of plywood with something. I'm not sure what. I like enamel, but the fiberglass resin, maybe something like that, with some shoe polish dye in it, or RIT fabric dye. That works pretty good on fiberglass too. You want it colored clear through. Like if you're putting on, if you're laminating something and you want to see how much resin depth you have, you're wringing all the resin you can out of it. You want it just as dry a layup as you can make. But sometimes you need to know whether you've covered something or not, whether you've been there yet or not. And so you put some RIT fabric dye in the resin, and it tints it, and you can see where you've been and where you haven't. It's like painting something. If I'm painting a concrete tank with epoxy, I'll start off with something like red, and then I'll paint the second coat black, and then the last one usually is Dunes tan. Reason being that by federal law, if you have to know whether the coating is wearing through on the tank. These are catch tanks for chemical spills, and you have to know that there's plenty of epoxy layer left. So if you start seeing red or red and black sticking out of your Dunes tan paint, something is wore, scratched it, ground it, dropped on it, who knows what, and you got to paint it again. Anyway, I'll put something on this lid, and since it's already got the right holes in it, and I'm putting this on the flat part of the IBC, or pretty much flat, then I just drop it over the bolts and put the washers and nuts on it, and that'll reinforce the lid from the top at least. And there's no real turbulence, it's gravity flow. I don't think that thing's going to be flopping all around in there. But anyway, these tabs bolted up, and if I tilt the IBC, I can adjust the bolts here to tilt this thing inside so it stays plumb. I don't see any need to do that, but it's just a possibility. I really don't think I'm doing it with bolted flat. Don't care how crooked it is. Of course, the way that it flows off the top of the 6-inch pipe into that would be altered. it would favor this way to the wide side, which is actually a good thing because you don't need as much flow back here. There's not as much area for it to go down. So forget the leveling. Oh, all these tabs have the head of the bolt welded to the bottom of the tab with the threads and the shank sticking up. They bolt through the side of the, well, whatever they're attached to. Let's see. Where's my button? See, there's like 2 holes, for 2 3/8 bolts, times 3 tabs, so that's 6 bolts per 6-inch pipe. Well, there's the piano hinge. It was there after all. Just didn't find it. Actually, I have to trim off this piano hinge. I'll just erase those things later on. Okay, we've looked at this is the radial flow separator. This piece here. Need a side view. Need a side view that's not shaded too. Okay, you can see that thing we just looked at here. It's up off the base of the IBC. This is the tabs up here at the top. The tabs will be screwed to the IBC. I think this is probably all one thing, and I can't highlight it without messing around. But this is the sleeve right here, blue line. Shows up as it's the side of the thing. Oh well, I'm sure you got the idea. So I'm going to be putting the concrete tank in the drawing and finding out where the holes go. There's a video I already posted. I have to change the dimension scale to make it any kind of sense out of that. Fortunately, we have one that's not got all the parts nomenclature and dimensions and stuff all over it. Isn't that nice? Water comes in through this 1-inch pipe. Gets that's threaded, metal thread inside of a reducing bushing. That turns it into, no, it's 1.25 inches. Oh, it's 1 inch going to 1.25 inches. 1.25 inches are reducing coupling, bell coupling. And then it goes from 1.25 inches to 2.5. And that's just to get us some working room. 2.5 pipe comes in here, and it's got a 2.5 to 1 inch bell coupling. And there's holes drilled around the periphery of it. And Bernoulli's principle says that if the fluid's coming through here at a certain velocity and pressure, when it goes through here, the velocity is going to go screaming faster the pressure is going to drop. And so we have air that come from it's a T with a side outlet on it. Got a 3/4 inch hose on it's a 1 inch hole with a 3/4 inch hose on it. Hose barb. Air can come in there and through this and get mixed with the water. And that's first stage. And then the 1 inch goes down to 1/2 inch pipe. And at this stage, the air can come in there, through here, into all these little holes. Smaller the holes, smaller the bubbles, hopefully. When this is changing from 1/2 inch to 3/4, there's a space between that. And when that fluid comes screaming through here, going to that bigger size, some more Bernoulli principle tells us that we can put some angled holes in here in the reducer, like 6 holes around it, put even more air. So that's stage 3. We do it again coming up here, and that's stage 4. We do it again, that's stage 5. And then over here, this air goes into here, that's stage 6. So there's, rather than have 1 point of air introduction in the thing, there's 6 different things. Comes to this cute little Y coupling. I think these are the sanitation fittings because it's 3 inch. Got a 3 inch coming out and you got 2 inches coming out. I can put pipe here or whatever I want, but I want them all the same size so the same amount of air comes to them. So I just put a reducing bell reducer on the end, made 3 inch holes. These things will go down the center line of the tank. Going to be 4 of them. One of them facing back towards the far end wall, and the other 3 facing towards the filter system. And the idea is that these sweep the bottom of these go on the bottom. They lay right on the bottom. They're not up at the top. They're on the bottom. There's 2 reasons. The bubbles have to pass through more water to get to the surface. They take water up with them, and it turns the... these are not actually dead center of the tank. They're off to one side a little bit. Maybe they can even be near one side. Doesn't make any difference. But the idea is you want the water to come up on one side of the tank and have to go across the top down the other side to make circulation. But this will sweep the bubbles down to the other end, and there's a sump in there will be above floor sump on the other end. All the stuff it sweeps down there, the molted shells from the prawns, shrimp, whatever, and the poo, and that goes out to the filtration system. The other thing that people don't know until they read a little bit about aquaculture is these bubbles coming up. They break the surface tension of the water in the tank, and that allows for air exchange off the surface. So you're not only having the bubble exchange in the water column, it's energizing the surface by breaking the surface tension. Just instantaneously, it closes back up probably by the time the next bubble gets there. Oh, look at this video. I'm gonna post this as parts 1 and 2, otherwise nobody will watch it, and it's got some pretty good information in it, I think. We're a content channel. It's sorry about that, but that's just the way it is. Okay, so you can give us a thumbs up, but it won't make any difference because we're not monetized. But you can. At least let me know somebody watched it. We got videos with 0 views, so we're not really into it for the views. But the subscribers have gone up. Huh. Go figure. We're not recommended by YouTube, but no matter what you search. So I don't know how. If you're watching this, I don't know how you got here. Okay. I can't put a sign in because I don't know how to do it, but the part 1 is going to end abruptly, just mid-sentence, I guess. And part 2 will start out from wherever that is, and we'll see how it goes. So give a little prayer to the Lord for what you've got, and for the health of the world and all that. And we're now going to try to stop this.